miners are still missing. About 3 of them were told right now after rescuers retrieved the bodies of 9 others from flooded Galamsey pits at Gbane in the Talinsi district of the Upper East region. Police confirmed that 9 of the miners trapped in the pit were pronounced dead by medics. The miners were trapped after the pit they were working in 3 nights ago was engulfed by water following heavy rains. The rescue team spent nearly 48 hours pumping water out of the underground mining tunnels, trying to find the miners.
Oh, it's far, it's much better. That's what I'm listening. They have gotten closer to where they are working. So I'm sure where is the address the boys are. Yeah, that's very good, very good, very good. That's very good.
Correspondent Albert Sori is joining me with more. Hello, Albert. Albert, let's start with the 3. Is there any news at all?
So less than an hour ago, I spoke with the Upper East Regional PRO for the Ghana Police Service, ASP David Fianco Ochoe, and he says that they are still looking for these people. As we speak, they have not yet been found.
Has the rescued efforts halted, or is it still ongoing?
Yeah, so what they did, if you look at the previous reports that we did, they were pumping the water out of the underground tunnels. Yesterday, throughout my stay there at the mining site, one of the things that constantly kept happening was that at every point in time when they thought they had gotten to the bottom of the mining pit, or they had managed to get all the water out of the tunnels, it will turn out that more water would rush in from some other parts, and they will have to start pumping all over again. So it took a very long time. As at 5 p.m. yesterday, they even called some of the relatives who are around that they were ready to go in and bring the bodies. But just when they were about to do that, they realized that there was still more water. So it took them a very long time. It was at 3 a.m. today that we got the confirmation that they had managed to finally go in and bring out these 9 bodies that we reported about today. Now, because of the nature of the operation, they have to make sure that there aren't still bodies in there. Now, what happened is that apart from the miners who went in on the day of the disaster to do their normal mining activities, we heard from accounts of the people who were around that when they realized that there was danger coming, some of them went back into the mine. They actually rushed into the mine to warn those who had gone in to do the work that there was danger coming. And some of these people could not make their way back out of it. So they are just trying to make sure that apart from the miners who went in, there aren't other people who haven't been accounted for. So when the 9 bodies were identified this morning, they realized that there were people whose names were mentioned as part of the people who were there that night doing the work, but who haven't yet been found. And so they are still underground doing searches. From what we learned, there are still tunnels that have water in them, and they are making sure that all the water in there is pumped out to be sure that these bodies are in there, or if they are not, they will find a way to account for them.
Do residents have anything, or the plenty of people we are seeing surrounding this area, do they have share any information about those who have died? Do they know them?
If you look at the pictures we have, there were so many people. Most of them are the people who come there to do mining. Others are there because they are taking advantage of the fact that people are doing work there to sell wares and all of that. And there are people who are relatives to those who, as of yesterday, were missing, who had come to see whether there will be any hope of them finding their relatives either alive or for their bodies. So there were so many people. Most people, when you speak to them, would maybe give you accounts of what they had heard. But the few miners that I met who were there actually gave, very very heartbreaking accounts. If you look at that pit you are seeing, it's one of the pits through which they go underground. Now, when they get there, there are tunnels, and they all spread into different tunnels to do their work. And so if water is rushing through the mouth of the pit, the chances that you even be able to climb against the rushing water and come out will be very minimal. You understand? So yeah. This is how the disaster happened. Now, most of the people, the miners who are around, mentioned some names. These are people that you won't know, because once you are not a regular person there or somebody who works there, you will not know. But the relatives of these people were around just waiting. Some of them, basically looking very sad and, just waiting to hear the bad news. It's unfortunate that at the time that the bodies were finally found and brought out, it was at dawn. And so those of us who are reporters did not get the chance to see these families and how they were reacting to it. But one thing I can also tell you, Gifty, is that the police had to release the bodies to the families. From what the police PRO tells us, they did some medical examinations on them and handed the bodies over to the families for burial. And one of the reasons is that if you look at the pictures, if you see the bodies, they weren't really in a good condition. So it's best that they are actually interred, and the families can mourn them accordingly, as investigations by the committee that the regional minister has set up to investigate the accident continues their work.
Albert, hang on for me. Thankfully, we're joined on the line by the Upper East Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu. Mr. Yakubu, thank you for your time and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So
you have commissioned a committee to look into this disaster. Exactly what will the committee be doing?
Well, we want to find out what caused it, what we can do so that it never happens again. That is what I want them to do. Because going there myself, I think that we should be able to put up safety measures so that this will not happen again. So I want to wait for the committee to come out with recommendations so that we can implement it fully to prevent this happening again.
To what extent is it not clear exactly what happened? As we're seeing, there was a rain. They went underneath and they got trapped underneath. Will the committee be looking at perhaps mining practices that could stop this, or to look into what exactly happened? Because it seems pretty clear, unless we are being ignorant, but it seems pretty clear exactly what happened here.
Yes, but for example, if the mining pits, where the pits were two of the pits were actually very close to the waterway, you understand?
Okay.
For example, the place is a low-lying area also. And we are now entering into a the rainy season. So we have to look at all this. And also the practices, as you said, the safety way of actually, for example, if there was a way of alerting the people early, they could have come out before even the rain, the water got into the pit. So these are totally, I want to look at it in all in its totality, holistically, so that we'll be able to put up a very comprehensive safeguard so that this thing doesn't happen again.
How long does a committee have to work? And let's start with how long they have to work.
Well, we're thinking of 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks. So that within these 3 weeks, we want to close the place down. And then first of all, we want to engage the people, mourn with them, engage them. And then while the committee is doing their work, so that within the 3 weeks, we implement whatever recommendation the committee will come out, and then they can go back. Remember that these people have money landlords, and therefore they are doing their work there legally, so that they can go back and do their work.
So 3 weeks for the committee to work, two weeks you want to implement the recommendations they'll come up with?
No. Immediately they finish, we should be able to use a week or so to it depends on what they are recommending, but we're thinking that probably within a week we should be able to implement whatever recommendations that they are giving us. We'll work day and night to be able to finish it so that these people can go back to work.
Who is on this committee?
I can send you the list, but we have the police, we will have the DNI, we will have the Mineral Commission, we have technical mining engineers. These are some of the people who are going to be members of the committee. Okay.
Let's look at the rescue mission. We understand that about 3 more people are expected to still be trapped beneath the earth. How long will the rescue mission continue?
My understanding is that they should be able, by the end of the day, they should be able to bring these 3 people up. And even bringing these people up, I also want them to actually further look properly to see if, there is anybody at all not left there. So we are hoping that by the end of the day, we should be able to get them out.
Thank you very much for your time. I know that also the regional, the RECSEC has been meeting on this. Can you share with us, apart from the decision to set up the committee, can you share with us what more information you have gathered surrounding this incident?
Yes, we are trying to establish the number of people that are actually working there also. And also to see if the pits are along that line, if there are other pits downstream as well, so that what happens upstream will not happen downstream. So we are looking at all this to make sure that we get the right information and the right and also the right things to do.
A way that you know who is accounted for and who has not been accounted for to help in this rescue mission.
Please, can you repeat that question?
So do we know these people? I asked our reporter whether these people are known. Do you have any information, any database from the miners there to prove who these people are so that we can know who is accounted for and who is unaccounted for as part of finding who else ought to be found?
Yes. We know all their names, their ages, and they are local people there, so they know all of them. We know their ages, we know their names, and we know all that.
Can you share with us the names of these people?
I have them, but unless I get them and
Very well.
Do you have them with you?
Okay. So whilst you check for the names, Albert, I was just asking the minister whether or not we have details to help us establish who is accounted for and who is unaccounted for. Do you get the sense from your interaction with the people that they would know this? so they will be certain that after this rescue mission, there is nobody else down there.
Yes, Gifty. One of the things I gathered was that for every night when they are going in, it appears that they take turns. The miners take turns to go and collect their stones underground and then come back out to work, break the stones and all of that to extract the gold. So sometimes they go in batches. So in this particular case, they knew the batch that was in there at the time. Also, sometimes some of them work during the day and others work at night. Okay, so because of this, they know them. They also know the communities they have come from. And just like I said, there were relatives who, knew that members of their families had come to work that night when the accident occurred. And they heard about the accident and came to ensure that if their relatives they know have been coming there to work, they just came to check if they are safe and if they are still alive and all of that. So based on these things, the police will be able to gather data, especially with names and where these people are from. That is information that they can use.
Okay, hopefully that can help us really determine whether the 3 will be the end of the number of people we're looking for. Let me engage the minister finally and find out whether or not he has the names now. Sir, do you have the names now for us?
Yeah, I have the name. Do you want me to mention the name?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, we have one, the Gbane Tembora. He's age 30. We have Zo Sheng, age 28. We have Kwekuti, age 25. We have Daniel Basuma, age 27. We have Kwejo Balimbinson, age 42. We have Nasengna Basuma, age 25. We have Kolok Bering, age 21. We have Jonathan Nazi, age 28. And we have Sampana Banja, age 38. So you see that the youngest is 21, and the oldest here is 42 years old.
42 years old. That is a Tembora, the first guy that you mentioned.
The Kojo,
All right.
Balimbinson, he's 42.
42.
And the youngest is Kolong Bering, age 21.
The second name you mentioned, is that a Chinese?
No. These are all Ghanaians.
These are all Ghanaians?
Yes, these are all Ghanaians.
Right.
Yes.
Honorable Minister, thank you very much for your time. And we'll hold on to this as we wait for the work of the committee, whether or not it helps us and whether or not the rescue mission can find the rest of the people. Upper East Regional Minister, Mr. Yakubu there talking to us. Albert, let's wrap it up. I'm wondering how the people who live in this area feel. Is this something that has happened there before?
This is not the first time a mine disaster has occurred here. As recently as 2018, we lost about 12 miners, if I remember the figure correctly. This disaster was different in nature. In this particular case, they were underground, there was a blast, and some of them inhaled poisonous fumes. There were some survivors and others died. Since 2013, since I started working as a reporter, I've reported almost every year when disasters of this nature have, mining disasters basically occurred in Gbane. So this one was a little different in that it was water and not the pit caving in or the miners inhaling smoke, but water going into the pit and drowning them as a result.
Hopefully this will help the mines and other miners across the country to review their mining practices, knowing that this could happen. Albert, thank you so much for the details. Albert Sorry is our correspondent in the Upper East region, bringing us up to speed. So now you know the people who have been involved in this. The oldest is 42, the youngest is 21. They had gone into the pit you're seeing there, entered that tunnel, gone down below and tried to find gold, but the rains came upon them, locked them up in there and killed them. 9 of them have been found. 3 are still being searched for. We don't know whether there is more or the 3 is all that remains of those who entered the pit. I'd love to hear from you. Send us a WhatsApp message on 0540109009.